Okay, the continuing of our little swale experiment is ongoing. So this time what I did is I took the middle buster, went down the center, and then instead of using the tiller, which is what I did last time, I took the box blade and I put the box blade on the back of the tractor, and then I carved out the dirt, because as you can see it comes in at an angle now, and you can actually see the angle. Now whether this is enough of an angle and we'll have to do it more in the future, I don't know, but I took the box blade down, and then when the box blade filled up, I lifted the box blade up, took all the dirt underneath, and then just kept going all the way down. Then I took the dirt that I did this with and I started filling in an area. So I'm gonna go over there in a second and show you what we're doing with the dirt. But then after I got done with all that, I box bladed it again. And I'm doing this now because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and it might rain enough that this thing might actually start getting water in it. So the idea is for this to get water in it, and then the water to slowly work its way down towards the tree line, because it's fairly flat, but there is a little bit of slope once you from here to the tree line. So if we can get the water down, then we can get it to the tree line. And then eventually I want to get it from the tree line, put it over into the corner over there, so then we can get it off the property. The whole reason why we're doing this is because this 5 acres up here is higher than we are. So what happens is the dirt, the water, once it gets super saturated up here, then it starts shedding down. And what's happened before is would flood basically this entire area over here. The chicken coop would get flooded, and there would be like a little mini river that would go from the field on the right over here over to about where the shed is over there. And so what we want to do is try to capture the water before it gets into our fenced in area, so then it can stay nice and dry. So that's the whole reason why we're doing this. So let me go ahead and show you where I put the dirt and what we're doing with that. Okay, about a year ago, this area that I'm showing you right now, which the driveway is right there, then the house is right there. This was originally farmland, just like the rest of the property was. And then from about this point back, this was all, it was bad pine trees. By bad, I mean they were not good, and they were going to potentially die and fall in the foreseeable future, so we just took them out. And there were a couple sweet gums in here too. But the majority of this was just all scrubby brush, kind of like what's back there. And it wasn't really doing anything, and so we took it out about a year ago. And so this little bit right here, this is where one of the pine trees was located, and they got a they got a stump remover and ground down the stump to below the ground, so the stump is slowly decaying underneath. And same thing with the other trees. But what happened was I was trying to level the dirt out, because the dirt over here was a lot higher than the dirt where the driveway is and the dirt over here. So I was taking the tractor and I was moving and pushing dirt and pushing it this way. Well, in doing that, I created a little bit of a dip area right here. And so it became hard to mow in this area. And the longer it, as time went on, then the worse it got. So I was taking the dirt that I was taking from the box blade and the swale, and I was putting it over here. So that's what all this is. And this is how far I got. And so as we get more dirt, then I'll continue pushing that way. But the other thing that happened was there were still some stumps that were above the ground. They weren't great big stumps. These were like 6-8 inch diameter maybe, but it was enough that I could not see with the lawnmower. And so I would keep hitting the stumps when I was trying to mow this last year. So I got the backhoe out and I got rid of the stumps. And so now what we need to do is clean all this stuff up, and because there's roots and stuff all over the place. And then when I get done with that, then put dirt on top of it to make sure these holes are covered up. But that's what I was doing with the backhoe earlier. And so as you can see, I had little craters all over the place where I got the stumps out. And if you're patient enough, the backhoe with the tractor is pretty good at actually getting the stumps out, but it takes a little to get used to. You could, if you wanted to, get a stump out from like that big tree right there. You know, that's probably about a 2-foot diameter stump or so. You could theoretically get that out with our tractor, but you would have to pretty much dig a moat around the whole thing about 5 or 6 feet deep in order to get that out, and that would just be too much work. So I'm not interested in doing that. But the small stumps, yes, I can get with the tractor. And so I wanted to come back here to show you what the box blade actually looks like on the tractor itself. So the box blade is right here. And so it's a very simple implement. It's just a 3-point attachment, and then it has a little knife edge on the back, and that's what grabs the dirt and pushes it up. If you have harder dirt, that's what these are for. So those flip, you can take those out, flip them under, and then they can help loosen the dirt. Or if you're doing like gravel or something, it helps loosen it. So then when the blade comes in, it's easier to do. But we haven't really used the box blade that much. Honestly, I was almost to the point to where I was almost regretting getting it, but we actually have a good use for it, so I'm happy with that. And so now I need to re-tarp up the straw because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but I'll do that in a little bit. But I just wanted to show you that, and then hopefully it's going to rain enough to maybe actually see the swale in action. Alright, I just wanted to show you down here, coming from the other direction, so that's what it looks like up there. But you can definitely see how this thing is angled down now. So hopefully it can capture water, hold water, and then take it down to there. So that's the plan. Now, if this doesn't seem to work, I'll get the middle buster back out, I'll dig another trench, and I'll keep going. I don't want this to be too severe of a angle, because I'm afraid if it's too severe of an angle, I won't get the lawnmower through it. Because last year when we had the first generation of it, I just used the lawnmower and mowed it. If it gets too steep, I might not be able to do that. but I can use the brush hog for that, because now that we have a brush hog, that changes the dynamics on things now, because some things that I'd be paranoid that I would have to mow, I really don't have to mow now. And then the other thing I wanted to show was sour grass has now popped up. This is sour grass here, and it grows native in this area, and it's a rhizome, which means that once it gets established, you'll never get rid of it. But it's a springtime grass, and so probably I'm going to have to mow in about a week or so, because if this gets too tall, then I won't be able to mow it. But one good thing about sour grass is chickens love sour grass. So as soon as I get done with this, I'm going to grab some of this and I'll feed it to the sisters. And so last year, the field back there was probably the densest sour grass field I've ever seen since we've been here. I mean, it was just coated in sour grass. And the farmer came in the middle of that, herbicide the whole thing, because he was going to plant peanuts last year. So he just cultivated this like a week or so ago. I think he's either going to be planting corn really soon, or he's going to be or he did that to keep the weeds down. So because we know that he plants corn, which gets planted now, we know that he does peanuts, which is planted in May, and then we also know he does soybeans, which is planted in June. So we'll see how that does. Now he has probably over 200 acres in our area that he farms. He doesn't own it. He doesn't own all of it, but most of it's leased. But this entire area, he farms all of it. So our little 5 acres is part of it, like his 200 acres in this area. And so we'll do that. So anyway, done rambling. I'm going to give the sisters some sour grass, and then they'll be happy, at least for a little while. Okay, so that was a bust. Not a bust from the standpoint of we got torrential rain, because we didn't. We got about 1/4 inch of rain, but 1/4 inch of rain is not enough to actually get the swale to actually do anything. So I'm kind of mixed results on this, because I kind of want to see the swale in action to see if I needed to do anything to it. But at the same time, torrential rains that are bad enough to actually get this swale to work might impede some of the garden stuff that we don't have 100% yet. So all in all, I think I'd rather have less rain and have the swale not be worked out yet, but that's fine. We're in South Carolina, so we'll always rain again. I also wanted to show, this is our new and improved rain gauge. This rain gauge is supposed to be freeze proof, so it's flexible, so we can do this. Not that it freezes a whole lot here, but the other rain gauge that we had did get frozen when we had our little mini blizzard earlier this year, and it did not work, because like a week ago we had like at least 1 inch or 2 of rain, because the swale at that time was starting to fill with water before I did all this. And it obviously had a leak, because at most it showed 1/4 inch of rain, and then 20 minutes later it showed nothing. So we got that one instead. So one last look at the swale right now. So probably, given it's springtime or close to springtime, I guess it's technically still winter right now, we'll probably within the next 2 3 weeks maximum. Probably have enough rain to get that sucker in gear. So I will be filming it at that time. And on a little side note, it is Loki's birthday today. So Loki is 7 years old. Let me go see if I can find him real quick. Okay, there's Loki right there. Loki is our indoor cat. So I say that Sherlock's the true owner of the property and Loki is the owner of the house. So we have a little bit of birthday festivities lined up for him later. And so just wanted to mention that. So we might or might not do a short with Loki's birthday festivities later. But anyway, that's Loki. And I just wanted to, that's the fodder system right there. I just wanted to show that the swale was halfway in action. And let me let Lady Pants in real quick. Come on. And so the chickens just enjoyed their breakfast, so that's why the rooster's crowing. So anyway, done rambling. Just wanted to give a little update on the swale, and it's TBD until we actually get enough rain for it to do something.